Do you remember our discussion? I just wanted to tell you that I thought about what you told me, and you were right. I didn't want to admit it, even to myself, but those years in Lothering, I yearned for the freedom and the recklessness that I knew in Orlais. The Maker made the world beautiful, but he also made it dangerous. To really experience it, I have to embrace this, not hide away in some nunnery. Sometimes, it takes another to show us the truths we hide from ourselves. My eternal gratitude and friendship? I've already pledged myself to your cause, so I can't give that again. I have a half-eaten hill of bread and some cheese from breakfast. You want those? No?
Something on your mind? Of course. You never asked? All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then, after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that? I should have told you, anyway. It was important for you to know. I guess part of me likes you not knowing. They treat me differently. I become the bastard prince to them, instead of just Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me. For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that DahliaLynn is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's alright. Oh, I hope he's alright. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. It was a dumb thing to do. I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go.
I have been mistaken. You are a soldier worthy to stand among the Beresad. I did not think so when we first met. You did, of course. The day will come when the Arishok sends us here. On that day, I will not look to find you on the battlefield.
In time. There is no point in dwelling on it. We should move on.
Speak, then. Clearly your chantry agrees. My people have a tale. An Ashkari walked among the fields once, observing the laborers at work. Flax bloomed all around him, the color of still water. The air rippled like a curtain. As he stopped to examine a blossom, a bee stung him on the hand. The Ashkari turned to a laborer for aid and noticed for the first time the heavy gloves and coat she wore. As she tended to him, the Ashkari asked them why she was dressed so in such stifling heat. "To avoid your fate," she replied. "But there are many thousands of bees here," the Ashkari said to her, "and only one stung me. Surely your caution is unwarranted." "The stinger is always a surprise," agreed the laborer. "But so is the bee that simply passes one by." Look around you. Ask the dead who lie here what the cost of one mage's failure is. We should not linger here. As you wish.
Different? Different than what? Different than a statue? Different than a log? Should I talk in a monotone? Yes, Master, I exist to serve the Master. I shall kill for the Master and only for the Master. Perhaps it expected me to have a booming voice. Recite limericks. I can recite limericks, if it likes. Mostly they involve slaughtering pigeons in creative and invasive manners. I have never met another golem. I have no idea what one might be like, or why I wouldn't be like them. Why? Has it met other golems? Did they not sound as I do? I don't know what other golems might be like, but I am already superior by virtue of my free will. This is a good thing. Imagine the benefits. No need to eat or sleep or perform other functions. Walk underwater, crush the heads of every opponent. The possibilities are limitless. Barring the occasional 30 years or so of paralysis, there's little to compare. Now stop talking so much. The wagging of its moist little tongue is distracting.
Here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin after all is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it? Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die. Of course, you compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go. Everything changes, my friend. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. What's this? 'Tis a rather odd discussion you seem to desire, leaning in so closely. Oh, it's humor you desire. I didn't realize comedy had anything to do with this. How true. Let us do it right, then. What's on your mind? I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there. I could sense the demons, too, and their presence frightened me. It was the kindly spirits of the Fade that took the fear from me. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched. I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word. There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles. Ostagar being one of them. I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger-wagging. You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help.
What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here. What do you want? Who? Perhaps revered Father Eirik will know of whom you speak. Unfortunately, he's ministering to the villagers at the moment and cannot be disturbed.
Revered father? I've never heard of this.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition. Our ways are not the ways of the lowland cities. The urn is nothing but a legend. I do not know who Brother Genetivi is or what he says. However, I'm sure people can convince themselves of anything. No. It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition. We do not appreciate lowlanders looking about our home as though it was some sort of zoo. You may trade for supplies at the shop if you wish. Then I suggest you and your companions leave.
They are hiding something. 'Tis obvious, is it not?
Interesting strategy. Tell me, do you intend to keep going north until it becomes south and attack the Archdemon from the rear? Truly, it would surprise me if my enemy counterattacked by running away and climbing a mountain. And that is more important than the Blight? Why? His army was broken at Ostagar. He is a solitary old man. Why do you fear him? Revenge will not end the Blight. We're wasting effort. You haven't thought this through. It is, however, a wise plan. I trust you with my life, but this is not my life at risk. It is our goal. Be careful, Kadan. I have spoken my mind. Let us waste no more time here.
Come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Were you up, were you down? Chasing rabbits around the town. Come, Bonnie Lynn. Who are you? You shouldn't be here. In the chantry. Mother wanted me to go to the chant, but she doesn't get to tell me what to do anymore. I'm sick of listening to Father Eirik, along with the babies and the girls. Soon I'll be old enough to go up the mountain and... Nothing. It's just nicer up there. You wouldn't understand. Lowlanders don't belong here.
I am not fond of sharing. You should know this.
I haven't asked to borrow anything of yours.
Nor would I lend it if asked. You would be best to desist and find your own.
Find my own what?
This facade of yours is unconvincing. If 'tis a competition you wish, a competition you shall have.
You wild folk are very odd and possessive. I don't like this. It's almost too quiet. Something's not right. I can feel it.
We have nothing you'd want. Please go.
I saw what you were doing back there.
Oh?
Don't play innocent with me.
What are you talking about?
You playing with that kitten.
There was no kitten.
Sten, I saw you. You were dangling a piece of twine for it.
I was helping it train.
You're a big softie.
We will never speak of this again.
Softie.
Who are you? You're not from Haven. We don't get very many visitors. No, I've never heard that name. How would you describe the place you know only as home? I don't have much, but I suppose you can take a look. What are you doing? That's private! I don't see how that is any of your concern. No! You have no right!
We must not exhaust our supplies. Exhaust our supplies. We must fight for the destruction. It's a fine thing we've done.
Ah, so everyone is within the Chantry. How lovely for them.
We are blessed beyond measure. We are chosen by the Holy and Beloved to be her guardians. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her. Lift up your voices and despair not, for she will raise her faithful servants to glory when her...
Ah, welcome. I heard we had a visitor wandering about the village. I trust you've enjoyed your time in Haven so far?
Perhaps. But staying hidden means staying protected. And we must protect Haven and our charges at all costs. We don't owe you any explanations for our actions. We have a sacred duty. Failure to protect her would be a greater sin. All will be forgiven.
Enemies approaching!
Who are you? They sent you to finish it. You're not one of them, thank the Maker. What do you think? Weeks of scant food and water, the torture. Oh, I've never felt better. The leg's not doing so well, and I can't feel my foot.
The leg is wounded, but that will heal in time. The foot may have to come off.
I thought you might say that. But if the foot goes, it goes. There are more important things than an old man's feet. I don't have time to rest now. I'm so close. The urn is just up that mountain. The Arl is sick. Will he live? Politics never did anyone any good. The Arl is a noble soul, but the ashes will surely cure him. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. There is an old temple there built to protect it. The door is always locked, but I know what the key is. Eirik wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it. Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside and I will show you. It is not that far, and will you let me lean on you? For the urn, any pain is worth enduring. All right. What is on your mind? Yes, of course. How could I forget? Eirik said they were ambushed, some killed, a few brought back to Haven to be questioned. He was so self-righteous about it, so smug. He seemed pleased that he had tortured and murdered these men. I see. She must have been desperate. She couldn't have known she was sending them to their deaths. Let's just talk about something else now, shall we? Well, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. I do not know. When the Chantry was established, it was decided that only female priests would ever be ordained. It is possible that the villagers, the disciples of Andraste, predate the Chantry and so have no knowledge of the Chantry's rules. They call themselves the disciples of Andraste. They are very, very devoted. One could say fanatically so. They must be here to protect the urn, but they speak of Andraste as though she was still alive. I thought so at first, but I'm not so sure anymore. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? They seemed intent on finding out personal information about me, where I grew up, things like that. How do you know? An imposter? What happened to the real Waylon? Oh, poor Waylon. I should never have dragged you into this. Make us take you into his hands, my boy. He believed in me, even when I lost faith in myself. I will honor his memory. Was there something else you wanted to say? Ah, good. Help me up here. I'll try not to slow us down. Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember. Yes, you see, it can be manipulated, just like this. And there. A key to open the way. Now, where does this go? Oh, what I would give to have seen this hall in all its splendor, as it was meant to be. Still, sweep away the ice and the snow, and traces of beauty remain. I'm sorry, what? I was a little distracted, I apologize. These carvings were created just after Andraste's death, and they may reveal things about her life that we do not yet know. I think I need more time to study these statues and carvings. I could not keep up with you with my injuries. I should be safe. I don't think there are any villagers here. Go. I will be all right. Perhaps my destiny was only to lead you to the urn. I'll be right here if you need me. Now I need something to write on.
I can't believe all this is still standing. This temple must be thousands of years old.
I am led to understand that the Qunari have their own mages as well. Is this so?
You would not understand.
Not understand? Is it mental capacity that you believe I lack? Or are you worried I will sympathize with my so-called brethren?
Take your pick.
Is that supposed to make me angry?
It means I find myself wishing that your people held proper, civilized attitudes towards magic.
That is a rather hostile thing to say.
And yet you continue speaking. Astonishing.
We should burn a few to warm ourselves up, I should think. So, are you going to continue staring at me as if I am covered in eels?
Eels would be something.
Prudery. How charming. I expected paranoia. This is much better. I prefer to be stared at lustfully, if at all.
Keep trying, then.
Oh? Then shall I demonstrate an act or two, and you may tell me hot or cold?
I'll save time. Cold.
You are a tease. Very quiet, Sten.
Only compared to some. Oh, so the southern peoples do read. I thought that was a myth. Do you know of the Cassandra, the sundew in the common tongue?
I do not believe so.
No. You are so alike, I thought you kindred.
What is that supposed to mean? What is the sundew?
A flower.
Oh? I am a flower, am I? How unexpected.
That entraps and devours insects.
Ah, now that I expected.
Blast! Let us end this!
You were in the Chantry. You are a priest?
No, I was a lay sister of the Chantry.
Which means...
I lived and worked in the Chantry, but I did not take any vows.
So you dabbled in priesthood then?
Oh no, the lay sisters don't have the same sorts of duties as priests at all.
So you were not a priest, did none of their duties, and took no vows, but you lived among them?
Yes.
You were a house guest of the Chantry?
Sort of.
You sing a great deal.
Yes, I do. Music lifts my spirit. Would you like me to stop?
I didn't say that. Was that part of your chant?
No, it was a ballad about a highwayman and the tavern girl who loved him. Could you not tell?
All your language sounds the same to me. I thought you were singing of vegetables, actually.
I see you yet continue to be where you are not welcome.
Are you jealous? Is that what this is about? Because I don't think it's for you to decide what I should or should not do.
Oh, you may continue on as you have. I am merely informing you that you will suffer the consequences.
You forget, Morrigan. I am not without my own pointy ends as well. Do not make promises you cannot keep.
I always keep my promises.
Talk is cheap.
And this, from a bard. You can't possibly think he will prefer you.
Funnily, I was about to say the same thing to you.
And yet, he and I have made love. Did you know this?
I suspected as much. All the better, as he'll soon discover you have nothing else to offer.
The world of the flesh is one of many varied delights. What do you think he will do when he discovers that you offer only frigid incompetence?
If we reach that point, if we do, it will be because we love each other.
And yet love grows rotten on the vine so quickly, a sour fruit that offers only a memory of sweetness. What is it worth, truly?
Everything. Only a dried-up shell of a person would not know that.
We shall see.
For a female, I can hardly tell.
Now we do battle. There is no glory in bloodshed. Have you no concern for your own existence?
Stop that.
Stop what?
That. Looking at me and giggling.
I can't help it. You're so big and stoic. Who would have thought you'd be a big softy?
Stop saying that. I am a soldier of the Beresad. I am not a softy.
Softy.
I hate humans.
No quarter shall be given. We must fight to quick. Performed as I expected.
I hope you never find out.
So, have you changed your mind, Sten? I dream about you and I, if you must know.
Don't you belong to the Grey Warden?
In fact, I belong to no one. And he would not mind. I am certain.
You would, even if I were interested in a small thing like you. The Qunari act is unpleasant.
Unpleasant? Unpleasant how? Now I really am interested.
Deadly.
And what if I didn't mind? I enjoy a little animation.
You'd be less animated afterward.
It sounds as if I am arousing your passions already, my dear Sten.
Parshera, why do you pester me?
Because 'tis amusing, that is why.
I've heard stories about the Qunari, you know.
Oh?
They conquered nearly all of the north, Tevinter, Rivain, and Tiva. Much of the land was laid waste. In the northern kingdoms, they say the Qunari are implacable, relentless, more like a landslide than an invasion. It took 3 exalted marches to drive them back to the sea.
We'll do better next time.
You seem so deep in thought, my dear Sten. Thinking of me, perhaps? The two of us together at last?
Yes.
What did you say?
You will need armor, I think. And a helmet. And something to bite down on. How strong are human teeth?
How strong are my teeth?
Qunari teeth can bite through leather, wood, even metal given time. Which reminds me, I may try to nuzzle.
Nuzzle?
If that happens, you'll need an iron pry bar. Heat it in a fire first, or it may not get my attention.
Perhaps it would be better if we did not proceed.
Are you certain? If it will satisfy your curiosity.
Yes. Yes, I think it is best.
Stop! You will go no further! You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young. No more! You will tell me now, intruder, why you have done all this. Why have you come here? I am Father Colgrim, leader and guide to the disciples of Andraste. Kill us, and you will face Andraste. She will smell our blood, and the blood of her children on you, and her wrath will be great. She is so much more! She is even more glorious than all the old gods combined. The prophet Andraste has overcome death itself, and has returned to her faithful in a form more radiant than you can imagine. Not even the Tevinter Imperium could hope to slay her now. What hope do you have? They are still within this temple, but why do we need ashes when we serve the risen Andraste in all her glory? What are they but the remains of a mortal woman? So you are after the ashes? Perhaps there is a way for you to make up for your desecration of our home and temple. It may be because I believe in second chances. All of us stumble through the darkness before being found and shown the light. Perhaps, through Andraste's mercy, her greatest enemy will become her greatest champion. You know nothing! Andraste revealed herself to us! We are her chosen! To arms, my brethren! Andraste will grant us victory!
Are there Qunari bards?
Why wouldn't there be?
I don't know. You don't seem like very musical people to me.
You base this on me? I am a soldier. The Antam does not do battle with lutes.
They say music soothes the savage beast, but I'm not going to test that theory. We must be close. This is holy ground. I can feel it.
I bid you welcome, pilgrim. I am the Guardian, the protector of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I have waited years for this. No one can take the ashes. They belong here. It has been my duty, my life, to protect the urn and prepare the way for the faithful who come to revere Andraste. For years beyond counting have I been here, and shall I remain until my task is done and the Imperium has crumbled into the sea. Ah, is it not? Then perhaps this is the beginning of the end. No, our Andraste has gone to the Maker's side. She will not return. The dragon is a fearsome creature, and they must have seen her as an alternative to the absent Maker and his silent Andraste. A true believer would not require audacious displays of power. It began with an ancestor of the one known as Colgrim. He saw himself as a new prophet, preaching the rebirth. Some disagreed with him. I heard their cries of pain and loss, which were quickly silenced. When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory and guard her. I have watched generations of my brethren take up the mantle of their fathers. For centuries they did this, unwavering, joyful in their appointed task. But now they have lost their way. They have forgotten Andraste and their promise. I am all that remains of the first disciples. I swore I would protect the urn as long as I lived, and I have lived a very long time. Did anyone really know her, save the Maker? She would sometimes spend weeks alone in meditation, often without food or water. I cannot express in words my love for Andraste. You must seek her out for yourself. Everyone must. I made a vow to Andraste and to the Maker. My life is tied to the ashes. As long as they remain, so will I. You already know that the urn contains the remains of the prophet Andraste. What else is there to tell? You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy. Still, you must prove yourself worthy. It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not... Before you go, there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is suffering in your past. Your suffering, and the suffering of others. You abandoned your father and mother, leaving them in the hands of Rendon Howe, knowing he would show no mercy. Do you think you failed your parents? Thank you. That is all I wish to know.
Is there any religion that does not thrive upon guilt, like a glutton at his lunch? No, I thought not.
You could not have known what would happen. You did what you thought was best.
Parshera, leave the past where it falls.
And what of those that follow you? And you? Why do you say the Maker speaks to you, when all know that the Maker has left? He spoke only to Andraste. Do you believe yourself her equal?
I never said that.
In Orlais, you were someone. In Lothering, you feared you would lose yourself, become a drab sister, and disappear. When your brothers and sisters of the cloister criticized you for what you professed, you were hurt, but you also reveled in it. It made you special. You enjoyed the attention, even if it was negative.
You're saying that I made it up for the attention? I did not. I know what I believe.
Demand whatever answers you want, Spirit.
You came to this land as an observer, but you killed a family in a blind rage. Have you failed your people by allowing a Qunari to be seen in that light?
I have never denied that I failed.
And you, Morrigan, Flemeth's daughter, what?
Begone, Spirit. I will not play your games.
I will respect your wishes. The way is open. Good luck, and may you find what you seek.
Echoes from a shadow realm, whispers of things yet to come. Thought's strange sister dwells in night, is swept away by dawning light. Of what do I speak? A dream came upon me as my daughter slumbered beneath my heart. It told of her life, and of her betrayal and death. I am sorrow and regret. I am a mother weeping bitter tears for a daughter she could not save.
The smallest lark could carry it, while a strong man might not. Of what do I speak? Yes, I was Andraste's dearest friend in childhood, and always we would sing. She celebrated the beauty of life, and all who heard her would be filled with joy. They say the Maker himself was moved by Andraste's song, and then she sang no more of simple things.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The debt of blood must be paid in full. Of what do I speak? Yes, my husband Hissarion would have chosen a quick death for Andraste. I made him swear that she would die publicly with her war leaders, that all would know the Imperium's strength. I am justice. I am vengeance. Blood can only be repaid in blood.
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? It was my dream for the people to have a home of their own, where we would have no masters but ourselves. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we followed Andraste against the Imperium. But she was betrayed, and so were we.
A poison of the soul, passion's cruel counterpart. From love she grows, till love lies slain. Of what do I speak? Yes, jealousy drove me to betrayal. I was the greatest general of the Alamari, but beside her I was nothing. Hundreds fell before her on bended knee. They loved her, as did the Maker. I loved her too. But what man can compare with a god?
The bones of the world stretched towards the sky's embrace, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom. Of what do I speak? Yes. I carried Andraste's ashes out of Tevinter into the mountains to the east, where she could gaze ever into her Maker's sky. No more fitting a tomb than this could we find.
No man has seen it, but all men know it. Lighter than air, sharper than any sword. Comes from nothing, but will fell the strongest armies. Of what do I speak? Yes, hunger was the weapon used against the wicked men of the Teventer Imperium. The Maker kindled the sun's flame, scorching the land. Their crops failed, and their armies could not march. Then he opened the heavens and bade the waters flow, and washed away their filth. I am Qwinn, disciple of Andraste and commander of her armies. I saw these things done, and knew the Makers smiled on us.
She wields the broken sword, and separates true kings from tyrants. Of what do I speak? Yes, I could not bear the sight of Andraste's suffering, and mercy bade me end her life. I am the penitent sinner, who shows compassion as he hopes compassion will be shown to him.
My dearest child, you know that I am gone, and all your prayers and wishes will not bring me back. No more must you grieve, my boy. Take the pain and the guilt, acknowledge it, and let go. It is time. You have such a long road ahead of you, and you must be prepared. And so I leave this in your hands. I know you will do great things with it.
Did you see the cruelty on her face? Is that really what I am?
This proves nothing. I have nothing to fear from shadows. Simple enough.
I have to work together to get across. Can we do it again?
I shall do it.
You have been through the trials of the Gauntlet. You have walked the path of Andraste, and like her, you have been cleansed. You have proven yourself worthy, Pilgrim. Approach the sacred ashes.
Dreamed I would ever lay my eyes on the urn of sacred ashes. I have no words to express.
I stand in awe. Really?
Congratulations. You found a waste bin.
shall be done.
Welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? There's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Oh, Maker. I'm not worthy to look upon. What was it like, coming to the urn, I mean? Tests? Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn.
And eventually, it shall be exploited by the rich and the powerful, as these things usually are.
I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me. I am not a rich man, but I have a small collection of interesting artifacts, and I do owe you a reward for coming to my rescue. I hope to see you soon, my friend.
You've seen and touched Andraste's ashes. They are the holiest thing on this earth, the remains of the Maker's chosen. I know, it seems almost irreverent to use her as a curative, and it is also a tiny bit morbid. I do not know if I am worthy to look upon her. Yes, of course, but it still is something to be in awe of.
What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child. Your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content. It is enough. Ah, human nature. You are right. Some people will never be content and will always want more. I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the fade and returns to the Maker. And after that, we'll see, won't we?
That smell. This is Antivan leather, isn't it? I would know that anywhere. I don't know how you found it, but thank you. Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two, a bowl of fish chowder, and a corrupt politician, I'd really feel like I was home. And they fit as well. Marvelous.
Something on your mind? Of course. I didn't know them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know. There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfels. What's his name? Gregor... He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table. Sometimes, we were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow, it doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly... Until... Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you. I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
Yes, its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect. Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go. No doubt. Without me, it would have to carry its inventory on its own. Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
So, full of questions, are you? I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend. Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know? There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary. They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask. The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess. No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the Chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one. I am surprised you think so. Still, 'tis a pleasant thing to hear. Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch? Oh! You're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
So tell me, Was the Tower of Magi everything you thought it would be?
Abominations running rampant? Templars ready to slaughter every mage in sight? Yes, it rather met all my expectations.
You don't think you might have been better off getting your training there, instead of whatever your mother taught you?
You're right. My mother didn't nearly have as many abominations running about. That certainly would have improved my education.
I'll give you that one.
I'm so relieved.
You return. Might you have news? You have? Wonderful. Let us go at once to Eamon's side and see if the Urn's healing powers live up to their reputation.
Where am I?
Be calm, brother. You have been deathly ill for a very long time. Do you remember nothing?
Tegan? What are you doing here? Where is Isolde?
I am here, my husband.
And Connor? Where is my boy? Where is our son?
He lives, though many others are dead. There is much to tell you, husband.
Dead? Then it was not a dream.
Much has happened since you fell ill, brother. Some of it will not be easy for you to hear.
Then tell me. I wish to hear all of it. This is most troubling. There is much to be done, that is true. But I should first be thankful to those who have done so much. Grey Warden, you have not only saved my life, but kept my family safe as well. I am in your debt. Will you permit me to offer you a reward for your service? I understand, but regardless of your motivations, I feel you are worthy of a reward. I would like to honor your efforts, nothing more. Then allow me to declare you and those traveling with you champions of Redcliffe. You will always be a welcome guest within these halls. And for you, Warden, a shield of the same make as those that have been given to our finest knights.
Indeed. We have no way of knowing what Loghain will do once he learns of your recovery.
Loghain instigates a civil war even though the Darkspawn are on our very doorstep. Long I have known him. He is a sensible man, one who never desired power.
I was there when he announced he was taking control of the throne, Eamon. He is mad with ambition, I tell you.
Mad indeed. Mad enough to kill Qwinn, to attempt to kill myself and destroy my lands. Whatever happened to him, Loghain must be stopped. What's more, we can scarce afford to fight this war to its bitter end. We have no time to wage a campaign against him. Someone must surrender if Ferelden is to have any chance at fighting the Darkspawn. I agree. Loghain will pay for his heinous crimes, but our armies must be reserved for the Darkspawn, not for each other. I will spread word of Loghain's treachery, both here and against the king. But it will be but a claim made without proof. Those claims will give Loghain's allies pause, but we must combine it with a challenge Loghain cannot ignore. We need someone with a stronger claim to the throne than Loghain's daughter, the Queen.
Are you referring to Alistair, brother? Are you certain?
I would not propose such a thing if we had an alternative, but the unthinkable has occurred. Tegan and I have a claim through marriage, but we would seem opportunists no better than Loghain. Alistair's claim is by blood.
And what about me? Does anyone care what I want?
You have a responsibility, Alistair. Without you, Loghain wins. I would have to support him for the sake of Ferelden. Is that what you want?
But I... No, my lord.
I see only one way to proceed. I will call for a landsmeet, a gathering of all of Ferelden's nobility in the city of Denerim. There, Ferelden can decide who shall rule, one way or another. Then the business of fighting our true foe can begin. What say you to that, my friend? I do not wish to proceed without your blessing.
Why do you think he had me poisoned? He wanted me gone without having to confront me directly. If I call for a landsmeet, refusing the compromise and attacking Redcliffe will only support our accusations. I'm sure he'd rather I died from the poison. Had the demon not interfered, that's exactly what would have happened. Very well. I will send out the word. But before we proceed, I believe there is the matter of the mage, my son's tutor. He still lives, I understand.
He does. He is in the dungeon, brother.
Have him brought here, Tegan. I wish to see him. Qwinn, what you have done is not in question. You tried to assassinate me and set into motion a series of events that nearly destroyed everything I cherish. What have you to say in your own defense?
Nothing, my lord. Other than to say I am sorry. I expect no mercy for what I've done.
I see. Grey Warden, have you anything to say on Qwynn's behalf? Oh? That is unexpected. And what would you have me do? As the injured party, my ability to see the merciful path is strained. True enough, and wisely said. Qwinn, I hereby turn you over to the Tower of the Circle of Magi. May the Maker have mercy on your soul.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, back to the matter of the landsmeet. It will take some time to recall my forces and organize our allies. I would prefer to wait until that is done before calling the landsmeet. In the meantime, I suggest you pursue the remainder of the Grey Warden treaties. We will need all the allies we can get if we are to defeat the Darkspawn Horde.
So have you heard? Morrigan and him are, you know.
Have you nothing better to do than spread idle gossip? And besides, he can probably hear us both. You're not being very discreet.
No, look, he's not even paying attention.
Maybe. You don't think that he's serious about it, do you? The woman is a vile fiend.
Well, look here. Now who's an idle gossip? Meow.
You're the one who started this, I might remind you. And I'm ending it. I enjoy the nights at camp. The night always seems more peaceful to me, safer. I feel the night grants us a reprieve from the troubles of the day. Silly, isn't it? The Darkspawn never sleep, and they lurk in the shadows. I enjoy those nights when we stand guard together, talking to pass the time in those small hours. Well, I talk and you listen mostly. Sometimes I succumb and fall asleep and wake to find you still watchful. And I know you're watching out for me. What I'm trying to say is that I trust you. I'm comfortable around you. I know you'll be there when I need you. You are our leader and my friend, and sometimes I think that maybe we could be more than that. Maker, look at me stumbling over my words like an ill-educated peasant girl. Some bard I am. I'm not embarrassed. I'm just flushed because of the heat. Really? No one told me. You felt the same way and didn't do me the courtesy of informing me? You made me say all those things. Why couldn't you have said them first? Oh, how very awkward. Well, yes, but don't question me. I am a woman and I reserve the right to be inconsistent. Oh, chivalry is so dead, making the lady spill her guts like that. Well,